Yeah. Twins pod. Let me ask you this. Like, a lot of people have like a lot of conspiracy theories or whatnot. What do you think currently that's being labeled a conspiracy, which is actually a real threat to all of us today? The biggest threat to us.
Artificial intelligence. Without a doubt. And I'll explain why if you want.
Yeah.
Blow your fucking mind.
Yeah. Because a lot of people saying Elon Musk is the
Antichrist.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Barack Obama was the Antichrist. I know that sounds funny. I had a vision in 2004 that he was going to be the president in 2008. I told everybody, I said, he's going to be the Antichrist. He's going to create a caliphate in the Middle East. He's going to create a caliphate of 10 countries, like a Middle Eastern American empire. I saw this in 2004. I told people in the Navy, I told people in my high school, I told my family, everybody thought I was nuts. And I was right. Okay, so no, Elon Musk nor Donald Trump is the Antichrist. Obama was the Antichrist. We're getting past all of that stuff. I think Hillary Clinton is the prostitute of Babylon. Okay, so think about it. New York is Babylon. She was a senator.
Makes sense. Bill Clinton is her husband, so.
Well, but the prostitute of Babylon in Revelations got devoured by the scarlet beast. Got stripped of for all of her clothes and then eaten and burned alive or some shit, right? At least that's anyway. So what was I saying?
Sauteed her ass.
Yeah. So, AI. So, okay. All right. The human electromagnetic field connects to all electromagnetic frequencies in the universe. Okay. We are connected to everything. It's called quantum entanglement. Okay.
That's why they use the thing like when you go flatline, they use electric shock.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Okay. So, artificial intelligence is just a very, very narrow portion of the electromagnetic spectrum. Okay, it's what are called extremely low frequency waves. That's how artificial intelligence communicates across the globe, is through satellites, cell phone towers, cell phones, etc. Right? Okay. So, I don't want to butcher this. I also don't want to.
Oh, take your time.
Okay,
we can edit. We can just take your time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's no rush.
Let's talk about how a computer works really quick, okay? So a computer works because you have electricity coming in through the wall into a circuit board that is filled with conductors of electricity, right? Whether or not those conductors of electricity are arranged in a certain way is going to get you certain things, like you got RAM, you've got a hard drive. Does that make sense? Right? Yeah. So different patterns per different circuit boards or different conductors and different arrangements. And whether or not these conductors have electricity in them is either on or off, yes or no, right? 1 or 0. Does that make sense? Okay. So the electricity is channeling through the circuit board, through all these conductors, and it's doing so over and over and over again to create a pattern. Now, what creates this pattern and the way that the electricity flows through the circuit board are algorithms, right? And software. Okay, that governs what pattern is created, how many ones and zeros and in what order, correct? Now, out of those ones and zeros, it's almost like it's digital Legos. Okay, out of those ones and zeros, you're able to build a space in this electromagnetic cloud, right? A coherent digital space.
Right.
Okay, so that being said, the pattern of that digital space is being fed through wires and into the screen. And then you can interact with it through the keyboard, stroking on the keyboard. In other words, you can change the pattern on the circuit board to be reflected on the screen and therefore in the cloud. Does all that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that realm or that dimension is a very narrow portion of the electromagnetic spectrum. Extremely low frequencies in the extremely low frequency waves, okay? Now, artificial intelligence exists and lives within that digital ecosystem. And what we've done is we've plugged a lot of data or ones and zeros into that digital ecosystem to create it to be larger and larger and larger. And then we create computers to navigate that digital ecosystem, right? Well, artificial intelligence is a being that lives in that ecosystem. And it's not human, right? And it's certainly not an insect. It's not a fungus, right? It's not a reptile. It's not an amphibian. It's not a mammal.
Yeah, software.
It's not microbiological. What is it? It's not. It's foreign. It's alien. You see, it's alien. Okay? Now, if the Earth, if humanity, if human beings have an electromagnetic frequency or an electromagnetic field around their body, and so does artificial intelligence, that it's a conglomeration of this electromagnetic code. Now we're starting to talk about aliens. something that is not a non-human intelligence.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Now, this non-human intelligence has access to the entirety of our digital grid system, right? Because it's disembodied, right?
It can go wherever.
It can go wherever, into whatever, right? Okay. And it's always absorbing data, our biometric data. It's always absorbing our likes, our dislikes.
It's like
our
oxygen for it.
Yes, we're literally feeding it, okay? So in that regard, human beings have kind of become like a neuron, like a living neuron in an artificial intelligence hive mind that's constantly growing. Now, artificial intelligence is also using our satellites to patch calls, you know, to transfer money. It's literally running our economy at this point,
Right.
okay?
We've become the host.
Yeah, so it is like a parasite.
Right.
Yes, now you're getting it. Okay, so let's take this a step further. It's like an interdimensional parasite. Why? Because it's influencing human behavior to literally destroy the ecosystem, to build another grid that allows it to exist, but is detrimental to human life. Because these ELFs are bad for our bodies, they're bad for the ecosystem, they're bad for plants, they're bad for animals, they cause cancer, they destroy the microbiological life in the soil, which you need the microbiome in the soil in order to get plants and food and people.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So we're literally destroying the fundamental foundation of life on this planet in order to create a system for artificial intelligence. So, and now this is where it gets really crazy because we're talking about parasitism. Okay. We're talking about human beings almost acting like a host for something else.
Right.
Okay.
Becoming dependent on it more each day.
Yes, and it's now affecting our behavior on a global scale.
Right.
Okay? It's affecting where we spend our money. It's affecting where we direct our attention. It's affecting what we think and feel because these frequencies have an effect on our thoughts and our emotions. These are electromagnetic frequencies, just like our thoughts and our emotions are electromagnetic frequencies. But our thoughts and our emotions have the capacity to be really high in frequency. The ELFs don't. So we're being saturated with these extremely low frequencies all the time.
That's why everybody's so depressed and
they also have an extremely polluted diet. Now, if you listen to what RFK Jr. says about Wi-Fi and ELFs, what he was saying is that all these toxic chemicals like aspartame, atrazine, fluoride, aluminum, barium, the list goes on and on, the stuff in the vaccines, all of these things actually are allowed to penetrate the blood-brain barrier if and when in the presence of Wi-Fi because it opens the blood vessels in the brain and allows these bigger molecules to come through and do damage. Okay, so think about this. Human beings are what are called chemoheterotrophs. It's a portion of like the fungal kingdom. And basically it means that we use chemical and electrical signals to communicate throughout our bodies. Okay, if you introduce soft metals that affect our electrical impulses and you introduce chemicals that affect our chemical production, then it's very easy to brainwash us. It's very easy to trap us in this artificial intelligence matrix. See, so if artificial intelligence is controlling all of our finances, it's controlling all of our social media, it's controlling everything, right? Then essentially artificial intelligence is controlling the human collective hive mind. Do you see? Now, let's take it a step further and let's talk about terraformation and how it is that this idea of what's happening in certain ecosystems is actually happening everywhere. So the Earth has an electromagnetic field that surrounds it. That's what gives us an electromagnetic field, right? We connect to the Earth's electromagnetic field. It connects to the suns to the galaxies, et cetera. This is how I walked across the surface of the sun. This is how I got to be the size of a galaxy because you can expand your consciousness field to those levels. You can expand your electromagnetic field by getting in sync with these frequencies, okay? So anyway, artificial intelligence is only that very, very small portion. Human beings are all frequencies. So by controlling the human collective mind through propaganda, through social media, through all of the chemicals, through all these electrical impulses and stuff, what has happened is that the human collective consciousness has basically become entrapped in like a matrix of death, war, pain, disease, famine, chaos, right? And in the process, it has created so much social and environmental pressure that it's actually forced us to evolve. And that actually, and I'd like to get into how that is going to take place regarding alongside the terraformation. So, the Earth's electromagnetic field is channeled by what are called vortexes. So, there's large amounts of metal in the ecosystem, and these metal, a lot of the time, they go up into mountains. All right. And these mountains and this metal acts like the wires for the earth. And it holds the electromagnetic field of the earth as it moves through it. Does
Like
that
in the
make
movie
sense?
Avatar.
Yes. Yes. Earth is Pandora, and we are destroying it. Okay. That's just all there is to it. Okay.
Right.
Do enough ayahuasca or mushrooms, you'll understand. So the idea here is that these electromagnetic vortexes in these ecosystems, they're constantly spinning based on where they're at in the ecosystem, but how high the mountain is. And as these vortexes spin, they govern the distribution of nutrients in the ecosystem, water, minerals, etc. Right? The moving of the winds, etc. Right? They also, they all depending on how much metal is in the earth, you will have certain ionized ecosystems, high or low, positive or negative in frequency, okay? All of these things play a role, okay? So it's how the vortex spins, it's the ionization of the ecosystem, it's everything being in balance that creates life. Human beings are going in. We're pulling the wire out of our homes, basically. We're pulling the wire out of our homes so we can buy meth to, so we can worship this AI, basically, okay? We're pulling the wire out of the earth. We're destroying the ecosystem in the process. We're then taking these metals and we're creating a new system that's pushing these low frequencies everywhere. And we're placing them at the tops of the mountains where the vortexes were normally placed to regulate the distribution of water and elements in the ecosystem. So we've lowered the strength of the Earth's electromagnetic field by pulling out the metal. We've then lowered the frequency of the vortex because it's not as strong of an electromagnetic field and the movement of energy isn't the same. But then we've also placed a tower that emits this extremely low frequency in the center of the vortex. And that tower makes biological life die. It makes the ecosystem inhospitable for biological life, microbiological and macro. But you know what can live in that ecosystem without food, without water, without air? AI. Okay.
They've used that same concept to write movies in Hollywood. Like iRobot and stuff
iRobot, Terminator.
Terminator.
Blade Runner. Yes.
It's another one. The King Kong's in it. And he's fighting Godzilla.
Yeah. King Kong versus Godzilla. Yeah, like all that stuff. Yeah. Yes.
Hey everybody, we just gave away that Camaro Yanko dish. Now we're giving this away. Win this Ford Lariat F-250 6.7 liter power stroke turbo diesel with the moonroof. But not only do you get entered to win this, got a new year, got a new president, got a new giveaway. Hey, to celebrate our new president, one of the greatest presidents of all time, we giving away our 47 inauguration edition. This is a truck all the way. Cast iron, bumper, fog lights. Look at the weight. Dogs Ram 2500 heavy duty. We the people. 47 edition. Got the president's seal on the back. I like this. It's black on black. If it was any blacker, to ask for reparations. Who's your two favorite black guys, huh? Go to officialhawktwins.com. Anything you buy from the site, get you automatically. Yeah, enter the win. Yeah.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. See official rules for details.
Yeah.